Hi there, my name is Rene, and this is another lesson of Tango Brillante. Uh, Before I start, as usual, I want to thank everyone for their support, for so many calls, so many messages that we usually receive, especially this week because it was my birthday and there was a lot of people. If you were there sending me all these messages, I tried to reply to all of them, but I think I broke Facebook for a while. But it got broken just because of your kindness, your love, and I really appreciate that. Thank you so very much. Thank you for your support, your constant support, so much needed in these times, not only for me, but for all the people that are keeping Tango alive. And everybody knows that we are going to be back soon. Just let's wait a little bit. I think that it is going to happen in the summer, a lot earlier than we thought that it was going to happen. But all we have to do is be patient, and we're going to be dancing together soon. Today, we're going to keep working on our backward ochos, let's say, group of play. We're going to do something very simple. You have noticed that in the background of the music in the background is very alive. You might not know this musician. His name is Enrique Rodriguez, and he was a very, very interesting musician, extremely popular in the golden age of tango. Probably you have not heard of him, excuse me, but he was extremely popular. And I'm mentioning this because we have a new episode in our podcast that premieres every Saturday at 6 p.m. And Enrique Rodriguez is actually one of the participants of this story, of this interesting tango. The name of the tango is Llorar por una mujer. So it's a very, very interesting tango. Don't miss that episode. It's very, very interesting. So for our lesson today, of course, you already know how I'm going to start. We're going to start by doing back ochos. So I want you to, this part is for the leaders, but I want all the ladies to pay attention because it's very important to have when somebody is explaining, it's important to have both perspectives, okay? So the first thing, I'm going to create a back ocho. Now here I'm going to stop. To make things easy, I could just stop her, but in order to make a little bit things easy, and I'm going to explain this a little bit later for more advanced students, but I'm going to imagine that I'm going to do a sandwich. And then I'm not just going to go in the sandwich and go back as we usually do in a normal situation. After I block her foot, I'm going to go very close to her right foot. And after that, slowly but nicely, I'm going to make a barrida in order to cross her feet. And for now, that is going to be the only thing that we're doing. I'm going to close the step. I'm going to do it in a diagonal line. This is the front. This is the line of dancing that I'm using. So I'm going to go back ocho. I let it sit. See how my foot, to begin with, gentlemen, I'm not doing this in just two planes. If I move in that way without using my core, it doesn't look very nice. So I start again, side step, first back ocho, second back ocho. See how like my torso is sending my dance partner on my right side and my hips are going there. That makes my left leg, the leg that I'm leaving behind, elongated. And it's going to be a lot easier to bring that leg where I want it. And immediately after that, I'm going to do the barrida. And see, when I do this barrida, she is going to have her right leg free. So from here, all I have to do is 6, 7, and 8. And try it again. One thing that I'm going to say about the musician, this musician in particular, is that his style is a Biaggi style, a D'Arienzo style. What does that mean? It's kind of like pushing us to dance with the upbeat. Okay, so I want you to understand that I cannot dance like this. I mean, I could, but probably the rest of the people are going to be doing a lot more interesting things. So look how I'm going to, the speed that I'm going to have here. That is when we apply it to the music, okay? It's agile. Remember this, ta, 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 ta. Whenever you're thinking about Enrique Rodriguez, that is his style. D'Arienzo, Biaggi, Rodriguez. Have that in mind. Now, if we are comfortable doing this, back ocho, see, if you already know how to dance, you can skip, because it looks a little bit different if I don't put my foot here already. So I am going to do a very nice and clear back ocho, and I'm going to make rebounds. And I'm kind of like walking. When I do that, there's a lot more communication. I'm asking my dance partner at what point. Here, see, first back ocho, second back ocho. I'm asking her, wait for me. And in a way, it's I'm taking my time to let her understand that. When I just place my foot there, it would be awkward to wait. And also, I don't have anywhere to go other than here, right? So I want you to have that freedom. It's like you're taking your time, you're making things very cool. Nobody can rush you there. So now we're going to do a very nice calecita that is not going to move our dance partner anywhere. I want you to, for now, look at me, what I'm going to do. So I go and I stop here. I walk in front of her. I take her foot, her left foot, and I push it into the cross. I'm going to try to go very deep. See how like I'm pushing deep. And right after this, I'm going to walk around her. And I'm not going to stop. Like, see, I'm tangling her legs. So now her right leg is in front of her left leg, right? So from there, I'm going to disconnect 6, 7, and 8 for now, okay? So let's do that one more time. Side step, back, back. Here, in order to make sure that she's understanding that I want her to wait, I want you to try to bounce a little bit. Leave her on her, more weight on her right leg, and then you start walking in front of her. I do the crossing. Okay? Uh, Whenever we do the crossing, ladies, you have to give a little bit of resistance. Okay? And after that, see, she understands that a little bit of weight is going to the left, most of her weight is in the right, but then the magic happens. During this time, her weight is going to be doing certain interesting things, and I'm going to kind of, after this, I'm going to lift her so all her weight remains on the left. She's going to switch her weight. And after this, for now, 6, 7, and 8. Now, there are different ways that we saw this a while ago of walking around our dance partner as leaders. And, you know, I want you to try to do this just walking forward, but very well connected with the music. I just did it very clear so you could understand, and I didn't pay attention to the music, but you must do it with the music. Pa 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 ra pa 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 pa. I'm not doing it fast. Everything is happening in a fluid way. Sometimes I take a pause, but then I keep moving. I can be doing this, see? I'm not doing anything. I'm just switching my weight, but I keep the movement going. So I want you to make sure that you understand that little part, that it's not that I am going to wait doing nothing. I keep going. And when I'm walking forward, see, just as an example, it's not important what I'm going to do with the sticks, but look the way I'm walking. I'm trying to make a polygon on the floor with my feet. Every time that I walk, there is a little bit of an angle towards where the follower is. And on top of that, my torso is going where the follower is. I cannot walk in a straight line. That would make me look a little bit disorganized, disconnected from my dance partner. So, how we're going to keep going on that exercise? Very slow, I'm going to go side step, back ocho, another back ocho. I play a little bit. I place my body in front of her. My weight is going to be on my left side. With the right, I go back. I'm going to place, see how I'm stretching that leg? And then I slide. I'm going to put my feet together again. And here I start walking around. Carefully. Up until, see, I'm completing a full circle in front of her. I place my feet once again right in front of her. And here what I was doing is kind of like lifting her body with my torso and finish 6, 7, 8. But in this case, I'm not gonna lift. What does that mean? If I don't lift her weight here, she's going to remain with her weight on her right foot. And from here, see, I'm going to arrive This is the last part. And with my right foot, I'm not going to collect my feet. I'm going to go way around her, and I'm going to swing that leg. That left leg is behind. I'm stepping with my left around her, and that is igniting a circular movement. And boom! I have to arrive right after she's arriving with her foot. Boom! Boom! And from here, we're going to go 6, 7, and 8. You have to be very careful and very aware of when her feet are crossed. I'm going to do from the barrida. I do the crossing. When I walk around, I have to invite a little bit her weight to be to be in between her feet. I'm not going to stay just in one of her feet. I want her to be on both feet. Okay? Right after this, when I am on the other side, her left foot now is behind. I'm going to swing by moving my body quickly to the side and swing that leg. That part, it's hard to do it with a dance partner that doesn't know how to swing her leg, or with a very beginner dancer. So not all the time the ladies are going to understand what you're doing. The more you try this, the more clear it's going to be. Even if you are a beginner as a follower, you're going to make her understand. But it takes a while until you learn how to lead that part. Now, for that little part, gentlemen, you're arriving at the very end. Imagine that here I'm going to swing the leg. It's kind of like a very soft movement. I can't do this like in a rough way. Even the way that I am moving to the side, see, I step here, I'm pivoting, I'm moving here like a, I don't know, like a fox, and then I swing. My whole right side is going a little bit behind me, but then they come back forward. So it has this shape, see? Bam, bam. It's extremely important that you create that shape. The moment that you learn how to move in that shape, you're going to understand how the body of your dance partner is going to start moving in that same shape. And that's what I meant earlier when I said that if you keep trying to do this, of course, at first it's going to be a little bit hard for the lady to understand, but by the third time you try it, she's going to kind of like go with it. She's going to learn. So she's going to feel very comfortable with what you're communicating with your body language. And that's what I am aiming for. That by doing something new, you make the other person understand what you want without saying it with your mouth, just flowing with the movement. Okay? So if I am practicing, see, the music is agile. The movement, as I said before, has to be fluid. So I want you to practice that fluidity. See, this is a very nice exercise. We're not going to do the last part, but we practiced this a little bit before, but I want you to go with this song. look how at the end I'm going to elongate. Nothing in tango is it might work in other dances when you have to learn just the timing and your set of steps, but in tango you have to have a little bit more of understanding on the speed of your legs, how they are moving. We cannot move our legs and put them together immediately. I spoke about that a couple of weeks ago. So once again, the music is probably calling for you to move, but I want you to practice, especially you gentlemen, because sometimes we tend to move in a very rough way. Hold it. It's kind of like quick, quick, slow. And I'm making that slow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is, once again, this is just an exercise to make you feel how you can delay that movement but still be with the music. All these little things that you're doing, they at some point they become very useful when you're dancing in the milonga. So I'm going to do the same exercise, but I'm going to try to use kind of like that, those movements that I just showed you. So don't forget, the fancy shoe is the right leg of the lady, the left is just a regular shoe. So we're going to wait for the music. Nice. See, it becomes like, before I was just dancing, like I'm dressed right now, but after, I'm talking about my movements, I'm still dressed the way I am, but then it feels like I was wearing a tux, and my movements were so very elegant. Let's do it from a different perspective. I'm going to do it a little bit slow so you can see what I am doing and when I'm doing it. De la primavera, de la mañana tardará hasta el ver, pero lo siento que falta de verdad. Sigo esperando por perfecta de la vez, sonriendo te presentará. Cuando me dices que vendrás, como me dice lo cuento, de que más feliz. Okay, as you can tell, my movements, although they look very simple, I want you to also practice to do this in a very symmetrical way. You can't, you have to learn how to do that circle that I'm drawing very nice on the floor. If I just move my foot, it's not gonna work. So don't, you know, whenever I receive the information, it seems like, oh, I can do that. And when I'm dancing in the milonga, it feels like I'm doing a circle, but in reality, I'm just like shaking my leg. You need to practice this. And at first, of course, try to use the music of Carlos Di Sarli. Try to use the music of, I don't know, Miguel Caló, to go very, very slow and try to like feel the speed in which you're doing it, and also the shape. The shape is very, very important. I don't want you to just do this like you're having a seizure. It has to be very nice and elegant. When you, any leg, when you're crossing, it's also very nice. It has to go or when you're crossing behind, I'm going to do it with that direction. Okay, these movements, once again, add a lot of elegance to the set of steps that you're doing. I'm going to try to use these embellishments when I'm completely sure that I am doing them correctly. Don't try to play with them if you're not, I mean, in a social event, don't try to play with them immediately. You just learn them. Nobody's going to understand them. You have to practice this a lot. And this is the perfect timing to practice at home before the social dance comes back. So you are ready to go when we are ready to come back. Okay? So keep practicing this at home. It's not that difficult. It's extremely simple. I'm going to show you one more time with the full set of exercises and kind of like the speed of the music. When I'm doing that, because the music is inviting me, I'm not just doing because the music is inviting me to go places. Okay, so practice all these things. They're going to be a lot of fun. And next week we're going to collect all these back ocho exercises that we did, and it's going to be even more fun. Okay, and we're going to probably show you how easy it is to go from Carlos Di Sarli to Juan D'Arienzo with all the same exercises. So don't miss it. It's going to be a lot of fun. Now let's see what the ladies have to do. Well, it is very interesting that to my experience is that whenever I am dancing with an experienced dancer, and I always mention this to all of you students, that whenever it's a surprise when you do embellishments, and it's kind of like it's a challenge. It makes me want to do more things, more interesting things, especially if the music sounds like the music of Enrique Rodriguez, that has this very constant, it's not just the downbeat that is important, it's down, up, pa, 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 pa. It's like a machine that is working. Now, it's very important for you, followers, that you understand the timing in the music. Your movement has to catch up with that, because whenever we're moving, we are going, usually listening to the downbeat. What does that mean? Bam, 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 bam. But we're going to see that a little bit later. For now, I want you to understand what you have to do. The first thing that is going to happen, we're going to do the first part exactly the same as I explained to the gentleman. We're going to take 2 back ochos. Side step, first back ocho, second back ocho. In this second back ocho, at first it's going to feel just like a sandwich. So in the sandwich, don't forget, whenever I mention sandwich, immediately I have this picture in my head of so many ways that people do the sandwich. Most of the people believe the sandwich is like this: back ocho, the second back ocho, and you wait in this position for the leader to do something, and like this kind of. This is not a very flattering position, so your legs should never, your knees should never be bent when you are with your center in between your legs. When I'm here, I need to be rigid. I cannot have any bouncing movement. I'm asking the leaders to bounce your center like I'm doing now. That is impossible to do here. You're going to either lose your balance, or you're going to be completely rigid. So how we do this is back ocho, another back ocho. See how I'm elongating that leg, and the leader stops me here. And although I don't want to do that movement, I'm dancing. My body, my muscles are stretching on one side and the other. I'm not moving my hips. Just because I let my hip joints to be free, and I'm allowing the lower part of my spine to move, the movement happens by itself. And then, so I want you to understand this little part, and then soon after this, you're going to feel that the leader is pushing you backwards. So here, and you're going to feel first the energy, and then you're going to feel his foot touching your foot. Most of the ladies, you feel that touch, you want to do something with that leg, and you don't really know what is going to happen. I want you to welcome. It's like somebody's saying, "Hi, how are you?" So I want you to say, "Oh, hi, I'm good." So they touch your foot, give them a little bit of resistance, and make the movement kind of like safe. And here, this foot is not ready to switch weight. You have to wait what the leader is going to do. So, and then immediately you're going to feel how he's going to go around. At first, we are asking the leader to just disconnect your right leg. So let's see how this is going to work. Trying to be, like I said, very conscious of what is happening in the lead. So back, second back, the leader bounces you a little bit. He takes you to the crossing, and then he's going to, in his embrace, he's going to start walking and holding you up a little bit. Try not to let your heels completely down. Lift your heels, and then he's going to go. I'm going to move my upper body first because that's the part that is connected to the leader, and then slowly I'm going to let my feet go up until I can't go. See, I turned 360 degrees. Now, at this point, the leader is going to decide which foot is ready to go. In the first part, I asked the leaders to release your right leg. So you're going to feel how the leader is lifting, and he's immediately going to go 6, 7, and 8. When the leader lifts your body, see, I'm here. My weight is on my left mostly. And if you feel, see, if I go up, it feels very easy to just have this one completely free. So that is kind of like a hint for you, oh, I have to release that leg. But I'm not going to just release the leg. Like, they lift me, oh, I know. You have to do it in a very nice and elegant way. Don't forget, you are dancing. And you're dancing tango, which is very dramatic, very beautiful, I don't know, very romantic, very sensual. So your movements must be that way. You cannot just disconnect your foot and go back. So look how I'm going to do it. I feel that the leader is lifting. I'm going to lift that foot off the ground. I'm going to caress the perimeter of my shoe, and then I'm ready to go 6, 7, and 8. Exactly the same way I asked the leaders to do this. This music is going unforgivably fast. Pop, 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 pop. It's not allowing you to take a break, but still you can make, provided that you understand the movements that you're doing, you within that how can I say that very fast set of music, you can learn to do this very quickly. However, it requires practice. After that crossing, in order to uncross, I'm lifting my toes, I'm elongating my leg, and I'm trying to lift my whole leg from my middle section of my body, and then let it go, stretching from here. So everything becomes a movement originated in the core rather than if I don't move my core. It goes like this, and it doesn't look the same way as this. So moving the core involves using the muscles of the core. This looks like I'm moving my hips, but my hips are moving as a consequence of me pulling, in this case, the inner muscles of my abdomen and a little bit of the muscles on the sides, okay? So I want you to use those muscles. It is very important for the outcome of the movement that you learn what muscles to use, okay? We're not doing an anatomy lesson here. We're not doing, we're not going to lift weights, but still we need to understand what part of our body is doing what. Now, if I'm okay doing the first part, and before I forget, don't forget that when the leader is pushing your foot, give it a little bit of resistance. Don't move your foot immediately. Allow that to happen nice and steady. Okay? Don't just move your foot. If you move too quickly, the leader is trying to do that with his chest and with his foot at the same time. He eventually wants to arrive lead and foot at the same time. If you move your foot too quickly, he's going to feel like your body all of a sudden is too much on his chest. Okay? So it's like ta-tan, 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 ta-tan. That also goes with the music, provided that the leader is following the music. And that is the leader's job. But also, you are collaborating to make that happen in the right moment. That's the reason why I was asking you to listen to the music. Pa, 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 pa. Don't just listen pa, 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 pa. Look for the opportunity to do certain things. So, I go from the very beginning, back, another back, the leader dances. He's going to lead me the first part, and at some point we understood here that we were going to do 6, 7, 8. Then we ask the leader to do a calecita. I cannot, I mean, it's very simple. After the barrida, you just have to do 6, 7, 8. That does not require more explanations. It's very, very simple. Now, when the leaders are going to do the calecita, you have to feel in possession of all the strength in your body, okay? I'm going to show you an exercise a little bit later, but for now, let's keep going with the exercise. Back ocho, another back ocho. There is a swing. Let it happen. The leader is going to come in front of you. Then he's going to give you all this energy to do the crossing. Look how my weight is originally, it remains on my right leg. But then you're going to feel that the leader is moving. So if I leave my heel on the ground, I'm going to be stuck. So the moment that you feel that the leader is starting moving, I don't want you to do a ballet moving like lifting your heels up high, but disconnect those heels from the ground. And feel your heels so they don't scratch your feet. See, I'm turning completely, I'm turning 360 degrees. If the leader lifts my body, that means that I have to disconnect my right foot. And like I was showing you before, I'm going to go that in a nice and elegant way. If you don't do it, let's say you wait until the leader is going, that is kind of the movement that is going to happen. If you follow every part of what the leader is doing, you lift up. And see, by lifting up, I'm not just lifting up my foot, I'm lifting my whole body. And that makes me, for some reason, for the leader, it's lighter. It feels like, oh, you're easy to lead. If I don't go too much and it feels like I'm forcing you to do something. The way that you follow, it should always be light. Like you're not giving the leader resistance in a sense that you're preventing him to arrive together with the music. There is a little bit of resistance that I'm asking you to do, but that has to be with the music, within the beats of the music. That's another reason why I want you to understand how the speed of the music is going. I have to admit that most of the ladies understand the music very quickly because you're just following, you're communicating with the movements of your body, and you're not kind of in control of the music. The leader is. So, and the leader has to do so many things. I don't know, maybe that's the reason we get distracted and sometimes we don't follow the music. But most of the ladies, most of the followers, catch up with the music very, very easily. So it's not going to be difficult for you. Now, we're going to explain the last part, which is the most fun part of it all. So, but there is a little bit of a change in the last part. We're doing the back ocho. We arrive here, we do the bouncing, you feel the cross, the leader starts walking. I follow that. Now, in this case, there's not going to be a lifting up. If the leader lifts, most naturally, you're going to go lift the right leg. He's going to remain and he's going to kind of like a little bit go down. So that is going to force all your weight to be on the right foot and immediately disconnect the left leg. Now, this part is tricky. You're going to feel that the leader goes a little bit low. See, you're up here and the leader goes slow, and I want you to think of a circle that you have to make with that leg. So the circle is not starting here. The circle starts behind me. I'm up. I feel elongation, and look, I feel that he's going down. The first thing I'm going to do is to elongate my foot. I'm up, low, up, low, up. If you don't elongate that ankle, your ankle is going to come out a little bit like this. This movement we don't have in tango, unfortunately. I have to make sure that that line from up here, from my thigh to my toe, is just one straight line. So when I am going to disconnect that leg, I'm going to stretch first here, and so see how like the circularity is from behind, it goes around me. And here, I don't want you to think too much. Your leg is going to, all you have to understand is the first part. Then your foot is going to land comfortably because you're allowing the leader to move that, to swing that leg. Allow that leg to go with the movement of the leader, okay? And that is going to arrive 6, 7, and 8. I know it feels like, oh, this is a little bit too much, but see, I'm going to do just the last part. Let's say we were here and the leader does the bouncings. He comes, barrida. After this, he's going to lift, walk, go down, swing, 6, 7, and 8. From the other perspective, try to practice. It requires a little bit of balance, to be able to do it by yourself, all the set of steps, but it's not impossible. Even if you don't lift your heels off the ground, I'm not going to lift my heels. That was like very safe. I'm not going that much higher. Of course, I disconnect my heels from the ground in order to create a pivot, but I'm not going up high to do that pivot. I am going just very cautious there. Now, of course, at some point, and this is the exercise that I was talking about, I was asking you to I would like you to do a very nice and elongated way of stretch your body upwards. This exercise actually it's a ballet exercise where if you do it, you're going to learn how to use all the muscles in your legs to help you stay put, stay completely in control of your balance. If you happen to have a bar, you can do it with a bar. If you have if you have a chair, you can use your chair. But the bar is not just to hold like this. It's just a little bit of a help. In this exercise, it's very, very important that you feel your muscles. Remember that I told you that sometimes that we are not aware what part of our body we're using. So I want you to do that. You can leave a little bit of a space in between your feet, but your heels need to be pressing together. I want you to imagine that you have a coin in between your heels, and you don't want to drop that coin while doing this exercise. So the first thing that you're going to do is, my hand is not grabbing the chair, is not grabbing the support. My hand is just there, like I'm not even leaning. I'm just touching the bar. Now I'm going to lift first, pressing my heels, and I'm going to have this very nice illusion that I am turning my legs outside. I lift, and then I'm going to press against my heels, and imagine that you're opening your hips, like you want your knees to go on the sides. See, it's like, imagine that my legs are my arms. You want to go like this. So that is going to put the pressure in your glutes, in the inner part of your legs, and you're going to be very, very aware of where you are. The idea is that you try to do that more often. When you do that exercise, you're going to feel how your legs become a little bit more tense here. When you go up, of course, your quadriceps are working, especially if I press in my heels. My quadriceps feel tense. My calves, because those are basically holding my weight, my calves feel very nice and tense. My glutes are engaged, and my adductors, I feel like my adductors are kind of like rotating me upwards, okay? The idea is that slowly you're going to leave the bar, and you're going to try to stay in this position all by yourself. Once again, it requires a lot of practice, and make your muscles very active. The more that you practice this, the better you're going to understand, this is the muscle that I have to use, or I'm not using this muscle, or I'm using this muscle too much. And see, when you're starting shaking, try to relax, try to erase anything, any thoughts from your head, and try to think upwards. That is going to help you a lot. Now, another part of the exercise is switching your weight. See, I am placing my belly button on top of my left ball of my foot, and then I change. You can still hold the bar in order to do that. Let's see, the bar is kind of like, I'm not leaning on it, it's just like, and look what I'm doing now. Okay, so this exercise is very, very nice. It makes your legs ready to go. And also it gives you this awareness of what is like to lift, to actually lift your body. I don't want you to think that when I ask the leaders to lift you up, you respond by lifting like this. You have to lift from your center, and that means that you have to become taller. The only way that we can do that is not stretching our chin. We have to stretch our feet, our ankles. That's the only way that I can become a little bit higher. But now, let's go back to our exercise. Let's go back to our exercise. So provided that we have that in mind, that I have to lift my body, I'm going to start doing side, back, back. I rebound. The leader starts walking around. The first part, he leads the crossing or the barrida, and he starts walking around. I'm already upwards because that's my choice. And then boom, boom, boom. So when you feel that, see, if there's a crossing and you feel the leader is walking around you and you don't do anything about it, I trip, my legs become tangled. Of course, I'm not wearing those beautiful shoes that you're wearing that happen to have high heels. That is already making your, say if my shoe is flat, my foot looks this size. If I lift this part, the shoe becomes a little bit smaller. So physically, you're using a lot less space when you have high heels. So the moment that you're pivoting is going to feel already a lot more comfortable than what I am feeling with my big shoes. But nevertheless, I want you to have, I know that you're already in high heels, but if you practice to lift your body a little bit more, it's going to feel a lot better. You're going to be a lot more in control, especially in that part. Right after that barrida, the moment that the leader starts moving, that's when you have to feel that, okay, my ankles need to be upwards. And then when he goes down, it's going to be so easy for you to elongate. And not only elongate your ankle, but the whole leg. When you elongate the whole leg, I want you to feel your glutes, I want you to feel your quadriceps, your hamstrings, and swing it. let it go. Bam, bam, bam. You can also practice that swinging process by just, see, I'm right straight up, and then I'm going to switch my weight to my right foot. With the left, I'm going to try to reach as far as I can. I'm not going to bend my standing leg. I'm just elongating. And from there, I'm going to swing, cross. 6, 7, and 8. And I can try it over and over again. I switch my weight. I place that leg as far as I can, and I'm going to draw, not moving anything in my body, around. I arrive with my toe and look at my ankle, straight. And from there, I switch my weight. First, I bend my toes, then I bend my ankle. That makes my right leg go back. And when I'm going back with that right leg, it's completely elongated. And I finish 6, 7, and 8. And I try it again. Swing it, cross, switch weight, 6, 7, and 8. Whenever you're doing these exercises that I am asking you to be aware of the muscles that you're using, most likely you're going to feel a lot of effort in your glutes. The more that you use your glutes, the better it is. The more that you use your glutes, that is going to end up telling you that you're really doing a good job. Most of the times people complain about dancing for 3 hours, that their feet hurt. That's probably true because it depends on the shoe that you're dancing. But if you're dancing correctly, your core is going to be doing most of the work, not just your feet. If you dance just with your feet, of course, and the muscles in your feet are this big, the muscles in your core, in your legs, are a lot larger, and they can take a lot more hard work and also a lot of more interesting movement, which is that's my target, that you understand that if you use your core, the way that you're moving your body is going to change in ways that you can imagine. That's the secret of dancing, not only tango, but a lot of other dances. At this point, I don't want to talk about the embellishments that you can do. Still, I would like I said to the leaders, because this music is so inviting to do something else. When you're practicing, I ask the leaders to do quick, slow. You kind of have, as a follower, your movements can never be rough, quick. So I would like to practice this in the sense of, for example, I'm practicing back ochos and that barrida. So, pam, 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 pam. Here, I'm not going to fight the leader, but I'm not going to move my foot immediately. Let's give the weight of your foot to the leader and allow him to move. So, that is happening only when you have a dance partner. But if you want to practice this a little bit, see how I'm going to do. I'm going with the music. Bam, 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 bam. And here, I'm practicing to keep my balance while I'm going to that crossing. Of course, you know, I don't want you to do anything else here. I want you to pivot. Okay? You can probably also find when doing the previous exercise, when you're here and you're stretching to do the circular movement around you, don't do it for now, just to learn to feel what parts of your body are working. Try to go I'm doing a double exercise now. It's not just one leg working, I'm working both. But see, in my head, I'm listening to the music. Dun 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 dun. That's how I would like you to practice, because eventually when we put all these exercises together, we're going to have the possibility, listening to the music in that tan 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 situation, we're going to have the possibility to fit a lot of exercises, a lot of other embellishments that you already know. Okay? So basically that is it. There's no other movement. It's just that you have to practice that. It's a simple movement, but also at the same time, when very well executed, it makes you followers, you ladies, to look very nice. Eventually, we're going to learn how to do this with a little bit of a volcala, and that is going to feel even a lot better. Okay? So just all you have to do for now is just practice at home, and you're going to develop the ability to do it this correctly. Okay? So that would be the lesson for today. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I enjoy to share my knowledge with you. Don't forget, like I said a little bit earlier, Enrique Rodriguez is one of our characters in the episode that we posted yesterday in our podcast, The Tangling Tangos. We're talking about this song, To Cry for the Love of a Woman. And it's a very interesting, it has a lot of information behind it. We're going to learn the music. We're going to learn a little bit about the life of the musician who wrote the music. We're going to learn about Enrique Cadícamo, the poet who wrote the lyrics. And we're going to learn a little bit of the singer, which was Armando Moreno. And all of them kind of confabulated so we can have these wonderful songs in the milongas. So that is also going to happen. That happens every Saturday. Every Saturday there's a new adventure in our podcast. So I encourage you, I invite you to listen to it. It's a lot of fun. And of course, we get together, we discuss tango, we exchange our ideas, our hopes, everything in our Glen Echo Virtual Milonga that happens every Sunday at 7:30 p.m. And we're always waiting for you. We welcome, no matter if we are 10 or we are 50, we are having all the time a very, very interesting time talking about tango. Sometimes we end up going to Buenos Aires. Sometimes we end up listening to a lot of songs. Sometimes we just chat and are happy to see each other. And we want you to be there as well. Okay? Thank you so very much again. And stay safe, stay healthy. We're almost there. We just have to take care of ourselves for a little bit. So please stay home, stay safe, and I will see you next week.